You ever look at the most successful people in the world and just wonder, how? What really separates that top 1% from literally everyone else? It's not just talent. It's not just hard work. There's a hidden architecture to their success. So, okay, let's break it down. Because here's the tough truth. Only a tiny, tiny fraction of people ever really achieve what they set out to do. Most of us are spinning our wheels, working hard, but the results, they just don't match the effort. But you know what? This isn't about luck. It's about a specific approach, and it all starts with a question. I mean, think about that. For someone like Kobe Bryant, the whole journey kicked off with this intense curiosity. It wasn't, I know I'll be the best. It was, can I? I don't know, but let's find out. That mindset, that simple let's find out attitude, that's the launch pad for everything that comes next. It's the spark.
So here's our game plan. We're going to start with that big 1% question and a principle that explains why most of our effort kind of gets wasted. Then, we're going to step into the two arenas where success is really won. First, inside your own head, and second, out in the real world. We'll even tackle the biggest hurdle of all, failure, and show you how the pros completely redefine it. And then, we'll put it all together.
All right, so why does it feel like we're working so hard but not getting anywhere? Well, it turns out there's a pretty famous principle that explains this imbalance, like, perfectly. It's this fundamental law of productivity that the 1% just get, whether they know the name for it or not. It's called the Pareto principle, but you've probably heard of it as the 80-20 rule. The big idea is that a small chunk of what you do, say 20% of your efforts, is responsible for the vast majority, like 80% of your results. Seriously, think about it. In any business, a handful of clients bring in most of the money. In your own life, a few key habits probably drive most of your progress, right? And when you look at it like this, it's pretty stark. Most of us spend 80% of our time and energy on stuff that only gets us 20% of the way there. So the secret isn't just to work harder. Nope, it's to figure out what that vital 20% is and then go all in on it. That's step one. The next step is mastering the two arenas where you actually put that effort to work. Okay, let's enter the first arena, your mind. Before anything incredible happens in the real world, a battle has to be won internally. This is all about building that psychological foundation, the engine that's going to power you through all the tough stuff that's inevitably coming your way. And at the heart of this inner world is something called achievement motivation. Now, this isn't just about wanting to win a trophy. It's this deep internal drive to meet a standard of excellence that you've set for yourself. It's the need to get better just for the sake of getting better. Just listen to Kobe again. His focus on basketball was so total that the entire world became a resource for him. TV shows, books, random conversations, he'd filter everything through one simple question: how can this make me a better player? When your goal is that sharp, the world literally starts showing you the way. And fueling that drive is this powerful idea from the psychologist Albert Bandura, self-efficacy. This is way more than just confidence. It's the rock-solid belief that you can pull together the actions needed to get something done. You don't just hope you can do it, you believe you have what it takes to figure it out. But, and this is super important, we have to distinguish this from its toxic cousin. See, healthy self-esteem, which is the bedrock of self-efficacy, comes from the inside. It knows you have flaws, and it sees failure as a chance to learn something. Narcissism, on the other hand, is all about a fragile ego that is starving for outside praise and absolutely cannot handle being criticized. The top 1% build their house on a foundation of real self-worth, not a desperate need for likes and applause. So once that inner world is solid, it's time to step into the second arena, the outer world. This is where execution happens. This is where the rubber meets the road and belief becomes reality. And you guessed it, we see another huge split here between the 1% and everybody else. Most people, and you see this everywhere, have a lottery mentality. They're searching for that one quick fix, that magic pill. I mean, people spend over $200 billion a year on lottery tickets, just hoping for a one-time jackpot. But high achievers, they play the long game. They trade that hope for a quick fix for consistent daily effort, because they know real success is built brick by brick, not one overnight. So how on earth do they keep that effort up day after day? Well, they use a psychological superpower, habit. A habit isn't just something you do a lot. It's a behavior that gets so wired into your brain that it becomes almost automatic. The 1% know that motivation is flaky. It comes and goes, so they don't count on it. They use discipline to build habits that run on autopilot.
And that gets us to a really crucial idea. Building those powerful habits means you have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. It's about intentionally doing the hard thing, the thing your brain is telling you to avoid. That daily challenge is what forges the discipline you need to push past the laziness and fear that holds almost everyone else back.
But here's the thing, our habits don't just appear out of nowhere. And this might be one of the biggest, most overlooked secrets to success out there. Your environment, who you surround yourself with, can have a bigger impact on you than your own DNA. I mean, think about that. Your surroundings are literally shaping your thoughts, your habits, and what you believe is possible. So for real, take a second and ask yourself this question. Who are the 5 people you spend the most time with? Are they lifting you higher, or are they kind of holding you in place? Your social circle is either a tailwind pushing you forward or a headwind holding you back. And the 1% are absolutely ruthless about curating their environment to help them win. Okay, so we've mastered our inner world, we're taking action in the outer world, and then, bam, we hit a wall. Failure. This is the moment that stops almost everyone dead in their tracks. And how you interpret this moment, it changes everything.
I absolutely love this way of looking at it. Problems aren't obstacles, they're filters. They exist to weed out the people who aren't really serious. If you love the game, getting knocked down is just part of the process. If you don't, that first problem is your signal to quit.
And history is just full of these filters. Think about it. Thomas Edison had 999 failed experiments before he got the light bulb right. It took 408 failed formulas to create something as simple as WD-40. And this one is just incredible. The pioneering brain surgeon Walter Dandy had 13 of his patients die on the operating table before he perfected a life-saving surgery. Massive success is almost always sitting on top of a mountain of massive, gut-wrenching failure. The psychologist Martin Seligman gives us a really practical way to deal with this. It all comes down to how you explain failure to yourself. A pessimist thinks a setback is permanent. This will last forever. They think it's pervasive. This ruins everything. And they think it's personal. It's all my fault. But an optimist, they see it as temporary, as an isolated incident, and often as the result of tricky circumstances. The 1% actively train themselves to have an optimistic outlook. So, we've walked through the inner game, the outer game, and the crucible of failure. What does it all boil down to? We can actually synthesize all of this into one simple but incredibly powerful equation. And here it is, a resilient, growth-oriented inner mindset, plus consistent, focused outer action equals extraordinary results. That's the formula. You absolutely cannot have one without the other. A great mindset with no action is just daydreaming, and a ton of action with a bad mindset just leads to burnout and quitting when things get tough. You have to win in both arenas. And so that really just leaves us with one final question for you. As you think about your own goals, which of these 2 arenas needs your attention the most right now? Is it mastering your inner world, your beliefs, your focus, how you see failure, or is it about executing in the outer world, building better habits, fixing your environment, and just taking relentless action? Your answer to that question, that's where you begin.